All right, sorry about that, folks. We had some technical difficulties. Our recording broke off, so we had to come back. I'll probably end up posting this in two parts now. But we were talking about Trails of Cold Steel 2 and how that was my number 2 game for me in 2017. I was saying I enjoyed the game. But it's not as good as the first game. I still really enjoyed it though. I enjoyed the battle system. I like it. It's turn based. I like the characters. I really enjoy. I really enjoy the setting, which is a fictional country of Erebonia, and there's the whole civil war going on that broke out, and in this one you're trying to bring your class back together, and you go out and try to find all your old classmates because everybody had to scatter once the civil war broke out. So in this one you're going around trying to find your old classmates. So yeah, it's definitely a really good game. For me, not as strong as the first, but I still really enjoyed it.
Wow, that sounds interesting. I really like the what you were saying about the fictional country. I'm always like a type of person that gets really into that type of thing. When you travel to, when you're playing a game and you are in, like a new, like a fictionalized place, or maybe like a distorted version of Earth or what have you. I always really get into the history and lore of those type of places. I guess it's probably like my super nerd side coming out, but that's just how I am. I've been like that with a lot of different, not just games, but movies, books, TV shows as well.
Yeah, I mean, if it's something where you're really into like lore and learning about the characters and stuff like that, I think that this is definitely a game and a series that you would get into. And I mean, there's other games too, and they're all connected. Like Trails in the Sky is actually like the first bunch of. There's three different games that are kind of take place in this universe as well. And then there's the Crossbell games, which takes Crossbell is actually like a neighboring country, or it's a city in a different country, but it neighbors the border of Erebonia. So there's a whole cross thing between Erebonia and Crossbell and everything in this game actually. So yeah, if you're into stuff like that and the whole like for this game, and this is sort of a spoiler, but we've been talking about a bunch of different spoilers, but in this game the nobility and the nobles break away from the regular like military and the rest of the country, and they want to be the ones controlling everything. So it's kind of people going up against the nobility, and the regular army going up against the nobility and everything. So there is a very interesting lore and everything.
Great.
All right, well, so if you're more interested in Trails of Cold Steel 2, check out my impressions video. But as of right now, we'll move on to our number 1 picks for the year of 2017. So Jim, what was your number 1 game for 2017 that you played?
My number 1 game is Horizon Zero Dawn.
Okay,
which is
it's a good pick.
Yeah, I definitely think a lot of people would probably agree with me on it being a great game, and like I think the best game that I played for PlayStation 4 this year. I really liked this was a game that like I just said, a game that I really got into the history and lore of. The premise is you're play as a young girl that is a part of this primitive tribe, in what used to be America, but it's years and years, possibly maybe centuries or millennia into the future. You're not really sure how long it is, for a while, and but there's these robotic dinosaurs roaming the world, and you're not sure what the deal with those are and why they attack humans. So it's really a type of game that you just get to explore a lot of great looking landscapes and visit a lot of different places. One thing that I always like with these types of games is to see how societies build themselves. Like I said, you play as like more of like a Stone Age primitive type person, but then there's more mechanized people and more people that are that have better governance, maybe more like the Aztecs or the Romans. And then I just really kind of like the way that weapons were done in this game as well. With different types of arrows for your bows and different types of like projectile weapons as well, in order to help you take down some of the different enemies throughout the game.
Yeah, that's interesting. You talk about like how it's like in the like distant future, but how about this? What if it was actually in our distant past?
That would be an interesting concept, to see,
That would be pretty
like
cool.
if that would.
I mean, I have no idea. I haven't played the game or anything, but that's just something that jumped into my mind. I'm like, it's almost sort of like Star Wars, like in a galaxy far,
Far,
far
far
away.
away.
It's like, well, what if this was actually like in our,
Yeah,
distant past,
in our
but
distant.
we think it was the future because there's like all these big robotic dinosaurs, but what if that's actually our past? That would be cool.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was kind of like something that crossed my mind until I, like played the game. But then, when you play the game, like, it's really interesting how, like, like how you're piecing together information, because my thought process was, one thing, like, was, I thought, I had an initial thought on how things got to where they were, but then as I progressed through the game, I realized that like I was actually way off on how things actually happened and went down in the game, or in the past of the game's present.
Mm-hmm. Cool, cool. Well, yeah, I think it was definitely a popular game this year. It was up for the actual Game of the Year award, but it ended up losing out to Breath of the Wild. But still, very, very nationally and worldwide recognized great game for this year. So I think a lot of people would agree with you that that was their number one for this year. And I just realized a lot of your games were released in 2017, weren't they?
Yeah, well, I mean, I have Pokemon Sun, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Final Fantasy 15. I would say that they're probably, within the last 12 to 13 months, old.
Yeah.
I know Horizon Zero Dawn came out, a couple months or so into
Yeah.
2017.
Although I think you're right. I think didn't 15 come out at the end of last year, and I think the same with Sun and Moon, isn't it?
Yeah, because I remember I did get both of those games for Christmas, so they probably came out,
Oh yeah,
in that
yeah,
game
yeah.
release or for the holiday season.
You're right. You're right. And I have no idea when Diablo 3 came out.
No, yeah, I'm not sure when that game came out actually.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll move on to my number one game for that I played in 2017, and this is another Vita game. I played it over the summer. I really enjoyed it. It's in my top five favorite games of all time, and that's Persona 4 Golden that I played on the Vita. Um, an awesome game. Originally came out on the PlayStation 2, and then they kind of redid it for the PlayStation Vita, and that's the version I played, and I loved it. It's kind of a different type of JRPG. I never really played, well, besides this one, I never played any of the other Persona games, and I never played any other Shin Megami Tensei games, but definitely kind of a different type of JRPG, and I really enjoyed the format of gameplay. It's more so you kind of you're more so into like going to school and actually like living in like a modern place. It takes place in modern Japan, you know. Um, so it's kind of more so about just doing your life, and then you also like, you know, and for this game, the whole story was is you're trying to catch this murderer that is able to pull people into the TV, and you're able to go into the TV and chase after them and everything. So you kind of choose what you want to do when, like like you get like okay, someone gets pulled into the TV, and you usually have about like a couple weeks to go into the TV and beat the boss for that level, um, but you don't have to do it right away. You can, okay, these couple days I'm gonna go to school and go to my job instead of going into the TV. So I kind of like that freedom that you had and everything. um, but definitely an awesome game. Different type of JRPG that I was used to, but I really still enjoyed it. So yeah, that's my number one game that I played in 2017.
Nice, nice. Yeah, that's like a good concept, or a good mechanic that I like in games. Having the freedom to do what you want. I always find it annoying when you have like the little indicator at the top. It's like, oh, your quest is go do this, but you're like doing this right now. It's like, just leave me alone. Like I'll get to the main quest, or you know, when I get to it. I just want to right now. I just want to explore this or do that. Instead.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, I'm impartial. Like, I don't really care one way or the other, but I really enjoyed this game. So yeah, it's a good game. If you're a Vita person and you haven't played it, definitely pick it up. But I think most people that are into the Vita probably have played this game. I'm actually a little late to the party on this one, but still my favorite game that I played this year.
Okay, cool, cool.
All right, well, so you heard it here, folks. That was our top five lists for the year of 2017. So now we'll just kind of move on to our usual topics we talk about. Jim, what are you currently playing?
Well, I mean, I've been playing three games at the moment. However, they're all online games. I
Boo.
I've been playing, Smite. I usually play maybe like one or two matches a day for Smite because what uh, what High Res does around this time of the year is they release the yearly Odyssey, which is every day that there's a new quest where it's like play three matches of arena mode, or play a match of conquest, which is like the main competitive mode that they have, or it might say play a game as the god Thor, or play a game as the god Loki, or score this many kills or assists. So I've been going through that. And each level that you progress in the Odyssey, you get different rewards, whether it be experience boost, or gems to buy, which are in-game currency. Then the other online game I've been playing is Call of Duty World War II, which I've been having a lot of fun
Oh yeah,
playing.
I know you were psyched for this game.
Oh yeah, I was totally psyched. But I actually did play the story mode before going online, which I really liked the story mode actually, but I was a little disappointed with the length.
How long was it?
I would say that I probably maybe beat it in 10 to 15 hours.
Okay, yeah, that's not that long when you compare it to most games that come out nowadays. A lot of games
Yeah,
are much longer than that late nowadays.
yeah, and I mean I think it's just for the fact that they the developers are only just doing like a service to people that enjoy story mode, but their main focus now is on the people that like to sign online and play the multiplayer game modes.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think a lot of games are like that. Like the actual story mode now is kind of a secondary feature to the online gameplay, which is kind of disappointing for me because I'm not really into going online and playing. I'm more so, into the single player mode and the story mode.
Oh yeah, totally. But I mean, I really like the story mode. Playing from Normandy, storming the beaches, and then playing till the end of the war. And I thought it was a really really good story. Josh Duhamel was one of the main characters
Oh,
featured
really?
in.
That's
Yeah,
that's pretty cool. I like him.
yeah, he was good, and it was a good part. He played the platoon sergeant, so that was pretty good, and I really really liked playing that and playing the story, and just going through some of the main battles like the Battle of the Bulge, and like crossing the Rhine and trying to hold bridges and everything, which is really good. And then I've been really enjoying playing the online mode and unlocking all the different weapons and playing everything. And anybody out there is familiar with the way Call of Duty games work. I actually hit my first prestige, a few days ago. So now I've, restarted in the levels. So I'm like now a level 15, first prestige again. So I'm, just trying to go back and re-unlock all the weapons that I had unlocked again as I'm re-leveling.
Awesome, awesome.
And then the third game that I've been playing, I just started playing it again a few days ago. I've been playing Fortnite Battle Royale, which
Which
the
is
Battle Royale genre is the
another.
genre that's really coming up.
This is another online type of game, right?
Yeah, yeah, and Battle Royale games, I guess, within the last like 2 to 3 years, have really come onto the like the competitive scene, and been a game that a lot of people like because most of the game modes, it's really like one versus 99 other players, and the last one alive is the victor. But then there's like added things on most of these games where it's like poison gas or like a storm that reduces the map size. So you have to make sure you're in the safe zone, within a certain amount of time, or you're gonna be trapped in the gas, and if you're in there too long, it'll kill you. But with Fortnite, you actually are able to, collect like materials like brick, stone, or yeah, stone, metal, and wood, so you can build your own bases. If you get into like a firefight, you can build a wall, to hide behind and everything.
Cool.
And I've actually been playing a new mode that they just came out with called 50 versus 50. So you're on a team with 49 other players, and you just try to kill the other 50 players.
Wow, wow.
Which is pretty. It's pretty chaotic, but it's actually a lot of fun to play.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I just can't get into all those like online type of battle royale type of games, but you like seem to love them lately.
Oh yeah, I mean I think it's a lot of fun, and yeah, and that's actually like some of the people that I watch on YouTube, like are the players that play like battle royale games, because I think they're a lot of fun to play. It's a lot of collecting loot, which is something that I like doing in the Fallout games, seeing how much stuff I can carry, and using that stuff to my advantage.
Cool, cool. All right, well, we'll move on now to what I'm currently playing. After I finished Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle, I was kind of unsure what I wanted to play next. I thought about playing I Am Setsuna on the Switch because I wanted to give my Switch a little bit more love. But at one point recently, I was able to pick up a copy of Oath of Felghana, which is a Ys game on the PSP, and I picked up like the really nice like collector's edition box set thing. So I went to play a Ys game, and I've only ever played the first two, but I kind of want to play them in chronological order. So actually, the next game is the fourth game. Chronologically, comes third, and the Vita has a remake or a remaster, or reimagining of the fourth game called Ys Memories of Celceta. So that's currently what I'm playing at the moment, and I'm enjoying it. It's kind of like a newer style, because the original Ys games used the old school bump mechanic where you just bumped into the enemies to fight them. But this is now, it's like an action RPG and everything. So it's fun so far. I'm enjoying it. You have to like um, explore a map and everything, or well, you're actually exploring a forest and drawing a map for like a local town because nobody has really been brave enough to explore the forest. So that's what you're doing. Um, so yeah, it's an interesting game. I'm enjoying it so far. I like the battle mechanics. It's not too complicated or anything. So yeah, it's definitely a good game that I'm enjoying so far.
Great, great.
All right, and so we'll move on to sort of our next topic that we usually talk about. Jim, have you had any recent pickups lately?
Uh, no, I haven't had any recent pickups. Um, with it being close to the Christmas or the holiday season. But actually, I did have a new download that I got yesterday. This is a game that was free to play, and it was a game that you mentioned on this podcast. So with Xbox Gold, every month that there's 3 games that show up that you can download them for free. I've done that before with a game called Rise, Son of Rome that I played this year, which was pretty good for being free. But this game is actually the Back to the Future game.
Oh, nice, nice. Yeah, it's
actually,
highly recommended game. Like I love that game. I actually played it on the PS3. So I can't imagine. It probably looks a lot better on the PS4 and Xbox One and everything.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I was actually just looking at my dashboard on my Xbox, and like off in the corner, I see a picture of Marty McFly. I'm like, what the heck is that? And then right next to it, it said, games with gold, and I was like, oh man, does that mean the Back to the Future games on Games with Gold? So I clicked on it. It said free. Clicked that download button as fast as I could.
Nice. Yeah.
So,
great game. It's totally, and I tell this to everyone, it's totally like it's like a continuation of the trilogy. It's like the 4th movie, the way that game plays. It's very good. The story is great. It like carries on, the story from the 3 movies. It's awesome. I can't say enough good things about that game.
oh yeah, I can't wait to play it. I have a couple days off coming up here with the holidays, so I'm hoping that I can just sit in front of my setup here and just play all kinds of games, and that's definitely going to be one of them.
Nice. All right. I hadn't had any pickups for the longest time, but yesterday, I was out with my wife, and we were up by there's a GameStop in my area. That where the manager loves the Vita, and he always gets Vita games from all over the place. He like specifically orders them because he loves the Vita too. So that's the best place in the area to get Vita games. So we were in the area, so I stopped in there, and I picked up a couple Vita games. I picked up Akiba's Beat, which is a JRPG, and I also picked up Summon Night 6, which is actually that might be a GameStop exclusive, I think. And so I picked up that game. It's a little expensive actually, especially for a Vita game, but I'm really interested in playing it. It's a JRPG, so I picked that game up. But before that, I hadn't had a pickup in a while until yesterday, so I got a couple new games yesterday for the Vita.
Awesome.
All right. Well, I guess that's all we have, unless there's anything else you wanted to talk about, Jim.
No, I mean, we covered everything I wanted to cover.
All right. So, like usual, we just want to thank everyone for listening. If you enjoyed the podcast, we have some other content on the channel. Please feel free to check that out. If you enjoy our stuff, please subscribe to the channel. Please give this podcast or any of the other videos a like if you enjoy the stuff. And please, keep coming back. We really appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, totally. Just want to echo Matt's sentiment on that one.
All right. So until next time, we'll see you later. Bye.